What's going on, Wild Family? Welcome back to the channel where we ride, we hustle, we repeat. Today, what I want to do is something a little special today. Today, I had one of my subscribers send me a message just starting out in, with e-bikes and dashing, etc. And during that conversation, I started to think that there's a lot of people out there that probably have the same questions, same doubts than my guest today. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Donald. Donald is from Mobile, Alabama. Donald, tell us who you are and what you're about.
Hey Fernando, how you doing, man? Thanks for having me. My name is Donald Perry. I'm from Mobile, Alabama. I actually started doing DoorDash, Uber Eats probably like a couple of months ago, and things been going pretty good so far. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can, man.
That is phenomenal. That's one of the reasons why I invited you to come on because, like I said, I think there's a lot of people out there that have very similar questions, and more importantly, some of them even have doubts as to whether or not they should embark in this type of journey. Right? I'm a I'm a firm believer there's a lot of people that are hesitant with today's availability of the internet, there's so much information that I think it's too much information, and it's what we call analysis by paralysis. They'll just watch and try to learn and then never really get started. So number one, I applaud you for starting, but let's get right into it. What was it that got you interested into gig work in general?
Well, I didn't have a car, so I was taking Ubers and Lyft, back and forth to work. So I was actually spending a lot of money. And so I was talking to a friend of mine. First I was talking about getting to school, and then you had to have either driver license or motorcycle license and insurance and things like that. I said instead of doing all that right there, I get looking to getting the e-bike. So I looked online and looked on Amazon and things like that. I was trying to find the perfect one for me. I just didn't want to get anything, so I went on Amazon and seen the bike that I currently have at the moment, which is the DZZH. And when I messed the order button, I started going on YouTube and things like that, and trying to see how fast someone go, and what the make and model, and then that's when I coming across your channel. And I don't know exactly how long it was you posted it, but you were doing $1,000 challenge.
Oh
You
yeah,
had to make $1,000 within like 21, 22 days or so. So I
yeah,
pretty much watched. Yeah, so I pretty much watched all of them. And
yeah,
I said,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I said, and I think your goal each day is to make at least $50 a day.
Yep.
I said, I say that kind of interesting. Maybe with my bike, with my bike getting, I look at the, I look into the, doing that right there, because I ain't never heard of anybody, especially down here in the city, doing Uber Eats and DoorDash on a bike. I think I see it at one time. I actually ordered something in from Uber Eats, and the guy, and they said that the guy was coming on a bike. I'm thinking it's a bicycle. They say he gonna be here in 21 minutes in the area that he was in, that he getting a food. I said he gonna take more than 20 some minutes. And then then when the guy showed up, he was on the e-bike. I ain't, which like I said, and besides e-bikes is not real big in Mobile. And so that's the whole purpose of me. You know, I want that to be a thing in Mobile. I've seen a few people in the city with e-bikes, but they're not as big as like most of these big cities like New Orleans and Chicago, New York, DC and things like that and stuff. So that's my whole mission.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Cool story. Um, so you got the DTZH, which I love the company, but which model did you get?
Oh, the F6.
So the F6 comes in 3 different versions, right? So there's the F6, the F6S, the F6 Pro. Which one did you get?
I think the first one, because it really didn't say. Uh, I know on the thing it say F6 and the F6 Pro, but I want to say just the F6.
Okay, so for those watching, just to give you the spectrum on all of them, so everybody we're on the same page, right? The F6 is comes with a 1500 watt motor. It's a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery. The F6S is a 2000 watt motor with a 48 volt, 25 amp hour battery. And the F6 Pro, which is the one that I have, is a 4000 watt motor. It's a 60 volt and has 30 amp hours. So, Donald, out of those 3, you chose the F6. Walk me through that thought process. Why the F6 versus and not the 60 volt? Was it because of pricing, or just because you weren't aware of the other models?
I wasn't aware of the other models. I thought they was actually all the same because I got it out Amazon, and cause they really didn't give me like an option, to pick, either or.
Gotcha. And if you don't mind me asking, what did you pay for it?
It came up to like $658 and some
Yeah.
change.
Yeah. Okay. So again, and this is just a personal preference to me, and no knock to you, Donald, but those watching, if you're gonna buy an e-bike, buy it directly from the manufacturer. Don't buy it on Amazon. And there's a lot of reasons why, but the primary reason why I always tell people don't buy off of Amazon is because the manufacturer will not back the product unless you go through the Amazon rep, which is an extra step, and oftentimes it could be a reseller. So for example, I am a reseller of Anioki bikes, but I don't advertise on Amazon, but I'm a reseller. So if you buy a bike from me, I have the warranty. I hold the warranty to that bike. So you can't call Anioki directly to if there's any issues. You can't do that. You have to call me, and then I get those parts or whatever the issue is through the company. In Amazon's case, there's a lot of resellers, and they come and go. And I've seen some guys buy bikes, 2 months later there's an issue. They try to contact the reseller. Reseller's not in business anymore. So just a word of caution there. Then the second thing I'm going to ask you, and I know you're brand new to this, on a 15 amp hour battery, which is what you have. How many miles are you getting?
I really don't. I just ride it back and forth to my destination, but on the dash at the current moment, it's like I had exactly like 500 miles on it.
So you're where you dash is not you're not going far then, right?
I try not to, 'cause, I mostly like dash like in the downtown area and close to like as we call it here, it's midtown, so it's kind of like in a close area.
Yeah. I'm familiar with your area. So if you're only dashing in the downtown and midtown area, so you're not really going 10, 20 miles. You're staying, your deliveries are probably, correct me if I'm wrong. Are the deliveries longer or further than 4 miles at a time?
Closer. 'Cause, I think like like the farthest I did were probably like 4 5 miles um on the order, and that's when I first just started out, and so it, plus I was using the throttle, so cause like I said, by me being new, I don't know anything. I was blind like his, so I was using throttle, and it pretty much was killing, killing a lot of my batteries. So that's why I was trying to like, kind of like stay close, close, close area and things like that, close to where I can at least, go somewhere, charge my, charge my battery up as need be.
Yeah, yeah. So, because that's okay. Yeah, I figured you're not going to be going super far because it's not. Uh, I think on that battery, if you're going full throttle, you're going to only get like 15 miles. So, you probably won't get that much more. How tall? How tall are you? And how much do you weigh?
5'7", 5'6", 5'7", like 140, 150.
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're the same. Yeah, you're the same as me. So weight's not an issue. You're gonna get some decent range from there. So that's not bad. So, um, give me. Let's talk a little bit more about the bike. How's the comfort for you? Do you like the comfort on the bike?
I be have to like scoop sometime, and just to feel comfortable. Every now and then, especially like when I'm riding, cause the streets here is like it was certain areas, but the streets are very rough. So I be have to like kind of like scoot over and move and things like that, just to feel a little comfort.
Comfortable. Okay. And how about any? Have you had any mechanical issues with the bike?
No, I suffered that squeaker noise when I first got it, and
Everybody.
I'm pretty sure you had the same problem too.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That was my only complaint with the bike is the squeaking noise drove me insane. It's something that you have to as you ride it, you break it in, so it eliminates some of the squeaking. But I had to grease it, not just lube it. I had to grease a lot of the parts uh, on the bike, and it took care of the squeaking. So yeah, that was my biggest complaint on the bike. But I personally love everything else about the bike, especially my version because my version is crazy fast, has a lot of torque, and with the 30 amp hour battery, and I added an additional 10 amp hours, so I have 40 amp hours on it. I can get some decent range with that bike. I really like it. So you got the bike now. You haven't had any issues. Now let's talk about gig work in general, right? Which app do you prefer, or DoorDash?
Um, I'm glad you brought that up, and I had got a error message from Uber Eats, and they cancel. I don't know what the proper term for, but they stopped me from using them because they said I had more than one account. But now,
Oh,
yes. So I was doing Uber Eats and DoorDash, but now it's on DoorDash because because I can't get on Uber Eats anymore.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So explain what happened there because a lot of people. I don't want people to get in trouble. So you had two separate Uber Eats account.
No, I only had one because I was using the way I ain't up getting none because I was using Uber myself because I ain't had no car. So that was the
Okay.
whole purpose of me getting the e-bike. Anyway,
Right.
long story short, so um I figured I had just got it was like 12 noon, 1 o'clock, in the evening. And so I said, let me go ahead and get up and make a little money, whatever. So I had got an error message, and then it said that um
You got yeah, you get deactivated. So basically, that's what happened. They deactivated one of your accounts uh, because you had two. So I mean, you should be able to get back on. You just have to call support and say, hey, I had two accounts. I didn't know I could, what the situation was, and then see if you can clear that because one was for you personal, one was for your for dashing, but you can do it. You still have to do it under one account. Okay, so you're using DoorDash. What's your experience with DoorDash so far?
My spirit, well, actually, I was doing, actually both of them at the same time, before they had cut me out. But I was doing better with DoorDash than I was with Uber Eats before, for like money while, because I was getting anywhere from like $2-3 with Uber Eats, per order, depending on how many miles they wanted me to go. And with DoorDash, they pay. Well, to me, I can't speak to nobody else, but it seems like they pay you more.
Yeah. So it's funny because it depends on your area. There's like my boys from Chicago, Eddie and Turbo, they love Uber, um, and I personally like DoorDash better. I think it's a better system, but it works better in my area. And there's a misconception about one pays more versus the other. The major difference, in my opinion, between both is that DoorDash your tip will be included in your initial offer, whereas in Uber, the customer has the option to tip you later or even withdraw the tip, which I hate that because even though I have not experienced someone withdraw a tip, but I think that's pretty crappy that they'll because if you take an order and it says it's $6 for 2 miles and that out of that four is the tip, and then you go deliver and if they withdraw the tip, you just went you just only got paid $2, so you lose out on your money. So I kind of agree with you, but in general, you get paid the same in both. But one is just easy to manage, and one is more guaranteed when you take the order versus the other. So I agree with you, but it's very regional, man. Because like I said, the guys up in Chicago love Uber, and I'm not a big fan. So um, on average, though, when you go out for a couple of hours, what's your goal? What do you? How much money you want to make when you go out?
Um, um, my whole goal is at least try to make is not 50, at least $40 each day.
Okay, okay, and that's for a couple. That's for 3 to 4 hours, right? Okay, yeah. Well, that's a pretty good goal. Um, and then, so because you currently do this part time, what shift do you normally you do?
Um, the lunch shift.
Oh, the lunch shift. Wow. How's have you, go ahead.
Oh yeah, like I said, I work so when I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so sometimes I try to stay up, to make sure my son get ready for school and things like that. But he old enough to get up in his own. But I just want to make sure that he do be up. Sometimes I sleep, cause he leave out the door at 6. But anything after that, right there, sometimes especially like if I drink a energy drink or anything like that, I'll probably still take a tad bit longer to buy like, at least like 8 or 9 o'clock. Then after that, I'm out. So that's why I try to, that's why I do the lunch shift, because I be had to be at work at 7 or 7:30 rather. So I can't do nothing but the lunch shift.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, that's interesting. So but because to date though, you have not tried a breakfast shift or dinner shift, right? Just the lunch shift.
Yes. I thought about doing a breakfast shift one Saturday morning. So not one Sunday morning, but by the time I got up, it was like 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I get up in the morning, it kind of hard for me to especially like as I lay down to get right back up and move around again.
Yep. On your Currently, how's your setup? Do you have a rack? Do you use a bag? What's your current setup?
From the start, I got a backpack. I just ordered a real rack uh from DZZH, and I
Yeah,
just received it, but it seemed like when I put it on, it don't fit. It kind of don't fit. Like one side going like real smooth, then when I put the screws in, then the other side it's like how can I describe this? Like the other side,
it's
I
not.
be had to like hold it down pretty much just to put the screws in.
Yeah. They don't align that well. You really have to manipulate it to align to get that rack in there. So you just got the rack. So you're using the backpack, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you like the when you put that rack on there, you're gonna put a basket and then you're gonna get a bigger box, or you're just gonna stick with the backpack.
Uh, till I find out, how I'm what I'm doing about this red ram. Just gonna use the backpack for right now.
Yeah. So I have the backpack, but I put a basket and I put the backpack in the basket. And then if I get a drink or something, I'll put the backpack on my back just to be a little bit more safe because I just do the morning shift, so uh, it's better to carry especially hot drinks on your body or in the backpack connected than on the bike. Even though your bike has so for an e-bike, your bike has very good suspension. So that's pretty good. You should be fine putting it in the back. Um, so if you had a choice, like if you had the ability to snap a finger and have your dream e-bike, what would that e-bike be?
Man, watching all your videos and edits and all the other dashes, man. It's kind of hard right now, but it's out of the Anioki and the Magician Alpha.
Yeah, yeah, great, two great bikes, man. For I mean, phenomenal bikes. Um, but if but if you're going to, my recommendation is always going to be the Anioki, only because the Anioki will. The Magician is a better. I don't want to say it's a better. I don't want to say it's a better bike. The Magician is just a different bike, but you only have 30 amp hours. So I always tell people the most important thing about an e-bike is the battery, and there is no company right now that, with the exception of Ihora, even though I think Ihora and Anioki are the same companies. There's no current company that builds batteries as well as Anioki does. So you'll get comfort, you'll get range, you'll get speed, you get power. Everything's there. The only negative to an Anioki bike is the weight. It's a heavy bike, so you have to carry that sucker. But the Magician Alpha, especially. Both the Mini and the Alpha, they weigh the same. They're still very heavy bikes. They're about 135 pounds, so they're still pretty heavy. Um, but at the end of the day, I would always tell people if you only have to choose one, you got to get a bike that's going to last, go far, and give you torque and range. And I'm a big fan of Anioki. So if you can get an Anioki over the Magician, because you're gonna need, and at the end of the day, you'll need some range. Um, and 30 amp hours is not a whole lot. Although I just did, if you saw my range test on the Magician, it's enough to do a shift. Uh, but if you go aggressive, like I use the Anioki for the competition, and towards the end, I was on fumes towards the end because I was going really hard on the bike. Uh, if you're not competing and you're just trying to make some money, and you're conservative with the battery, you'll be fine. Um, so I'm going to open it up now for you to ask me a few questions, and then we'll close with that. But you have any questions for me?
Oh yes. What made you start using e-bikes?
Man, I've been a fan of e-bikes for a very long time. My first e-bike was back in I want to say 2012 or 13, and it was an e-horror bike. It was the AM100. It's funny because it had a 12 amp hour battery on it. It was class 3, only went up to 28 miles an hour. I still have that bike, by the way, but that was my first e-bike, and that's when I fell in love with e-bikes. But that's when I quickly realized how important batteries were, because I took, I'm in South Florida, and to get anywhere, you're going far. To get from my house out to the beach, round trip is about close to 20 miles. And first time I took my e-bike out there, coming back, I ran out of battery. I had to pedal home, which wasn't bad. But that's how I got into e-bikes. I mean, I've been into e-bikes for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah. Cause I actually take my charger with me everywhere I go. Like I can go to work or a friend house, family house. I don't like I could be on 80%. I got my charger with me because I ain't trying to get had them more down on me or anything like that. So even to do that, I know at least I can go to like a gas station or fast food spot or something like that, charge it up.
Yeah. I mean, because you only have 15 amp hours. I mean, that's not a lot. That's not a lot of range. So you're forced to do that. Again, that's why I say an Anioki, you never have to worry about that. You go for days on that battery. So what else? What else you got for me?
Um, I know you just did the challenge. How did I, how the whole idea became about?
Great question. So besides dashing, I run a CrossFit gym, and we had CrossFit does an annual competition called the CrossFit Open, and within the ecosystem, the CrossFit ecosystem, there's a couple of things in there. There's a guy that I watch, and he does a series called Kill Taylor, and it's basically going head to head with people and competing. So that's where the idea came about. I'm like, you know what? I want to see who is the best dasher out there. So that's why I decided to do the competition. Plus, I'm competitive, and I do this for fun. And the more competitive it is, the more I enjoy it. So that's how the competition came about, and it was thankfully it was a huge success. In fact, I was just talking this morning, talking to the people over at Magician e-bikes, who are the Alpha and the Mini, because they hit me up and they want to sponsor the channel next year for the Dash Challenge, which I'm excited about that. We'll see how it turns out, but they'll definitely be a part of the challenge. But I want them to be a title sponsor, because so next year what we're going to do different is in the finals, I'm only going to have one title sponsor, or the goal is to have one title sponsor. So in the finals, we're all riding the same bike. So it would be awesome if Magician will be the title sponsor, and we're all riding Magician bikes. So it'd be cool.
Yeah, I was on Dude Moto, or I was on one of his live. I started, talking to him back and forth on his live and commenting on his videos the same way I do you. And he, I was telling him that, I was gonna be in your show and things like that. Then he, then he asked me, was I gonna be in the challenge? I said, nah, no, I ain't gonna be in the challenge, but my whole plan is, what I'm saying, getting, it's to be in the challenge next year.
Yeah, man. Keep hustling, keep working at it, and when we're gonna be advertising, we're gonna promote it and start advertising and opening up in October of this year. So, because there's gonna be a lot more money a lot more money next year. So because I've already had commitment from a bunch of companies. So, but yeah, keep hustling, keep doing what you're doing, and when it opens up, just make sure you sign up and DM me, and we'll see what we can do to get you on the challenge. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's a bit, man. Like, um, I ain't never heard anything like it. Like I said, by me being new to this, everything is like wow, wow, wow. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but we're the first to put on a challenge as big and with the money that we put up. Because I've seen other people challenge themselves in like friendly wagers. For example, Andy, aka Raspy Rides, and Wilser did a challenge. Andy did it on his e-bike. Wilser did it on his scooter. They competed against each other. You also have car dashers. There's one guy, I forget his name, but he'll go and go to a different city and challenge a guy. But at the magnitude and the size and owning e-bikes, we're the first. So and next year is going to be even bigger. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, they were pretty cool right there. I seen who that was. I think somebody went live. I want either it was Dude Moto or Edwin or either excuse me, either them two or it was Turbo. But somebody went live. I'm like, damn. Well, that time in the scenery, they was. I think one of them was by the beach. The water looked so clear. I'm like, well, I could do some good fishing over there.
Oh yeah. You can fish on my property. I have a lake on my property. You can fish. We got some good bass on my lake. But yeah, it's like I said, it was cool. Stand by because we're currently producing several. We're gonna throw out a bunch of videos all related to the Dash Challenge. It's gonna be exciting stuff. So keep watching. This should be coming out shortly. You'll start to see some of the stuff coming out. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had in one of your videos you said they you're gonna do like a documentary
Yep.
on the challenge.
Yep. That's coming out. That'll be coming out soon.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty much out.
no, what I was gonna say is that it's just gonna take us a minute because, I mean, we had everybody recorded. So, we got tons of footage to go over and edit and put together. So, but shortly you'll start to see them. You'll start to see some of the videos come out. It'd be cool. But all right, buddy. Listen, it was fun. Excited to watch you grow. Keep me posted. And don't forget, ride, hustle, repeat, my brother. Thank you.